Hi everyone, I hope you're all keeping well. You can hear by my voice I'm still not 100%. I'm a little bit tired at the minute, but I'm going to do my best because I've got some funny news that has come out, obviously, as I said, that would waft over from Montecito. So I want to share it with you. Plus, as I said, I wanted to talk about this huge programme that Prince William has just launched. But I'm going to start with something that made my morning. I walked into our local shop this morning. I just needed a pint of milk, came out with the plants, as you do. But they had these beautiful lily plants and, they're quite tall. So I stood there in the queue and all of a sudden I heard morning flower. Turned around and there was a gentleman there, and when I'm calling him a gentleman, you know the type of fellow that I mean. He was about in his 80s, he had a smart hat on, he had a tie on, and you just know that he dresses like this whenever he leaves his house, whether he's going to a doctor's appointment or the shop. You know the sort of gentleman. It's a dying breed, sadly, but he just looks so smart, and he had the biggest, sweetest grin on his face. He wasn't lechy, he wasn't pervy, he wasn't in any way, shape or form being rude. It was just cute, and it really made me giggle, and it gave me such a good mood, and it made me start thinking about, it's really sad what's happening around the world, that people are so angry now. People will be shouting at you because you didn't give your seat up because you didn't know someone was pregnant. Men get shouted at because they opened the door for a woman and now they're being yelled at because it's disrespectful. You've got all of this thing to do with pronouns and genders, and everyone just seems so angry. And it made me think that, gosh, if he'd have said that to the wrong person, what they call a Karen, I hate that term because I've got a friend called Karen, but you know what I mean, one of these like really angry people, men and women, it could have really blown up in his face. And I just think it's a really sad decline in society where people are so angry that people can't even just be nice, say good morning, open the door, give each other compliments, just to make it a little bit of a nicer start. As I said, it certainly made my day. And it got me thinking about Prince William. His launch, his programme is all to do with homelessness. And there is such a negative attitude towards people that live on the streets. You have people go and get a job, get a life, and it's not that easy, and you really don't know the circumstances, how people have found themselves in this terrible, terrible situation. It's such a brilliant thing what Prince William is trying to do. He wants to eradicate the homelessness in the UK, and Finland managed to do it, so why can't we? Now, the project has been in development for some time, and it's a subject that most of you know that follow Prince William. It's something that is incredibly close to his heart. His mother, Princess Diana, taught he and Harry how lucky and privileged that they were from a very young age. There was a famous photograph that was released where she took them to homeless shelters, which she herself was a regular visitor to. It was about teaching her two sons that, they are incredibly privileged and not everyone is as fortunate as them. But given also the remarkable position in life that both Harry and William were born into, she was teaching them how they can use their platform to genuinely make a difference to other people's lives, to draw attention to causes that, the public should be more aware of, and encourage people to help others. Now, it's not just Diana that wanted her sons to grow up and use their platform to help others, but also King Charles. The Prince's Trust has worked alongside many charities and organisations over the years, helping the underprivileged, the disadvantaged communities, and of course, homelessness is a big part of that. The Prince's Trust is King Charles's legacy. He started it up when he was very young, the Prince of Wales. I'm actually going to do a video on it in July because there's so many different things that the Prince's Trust has covered, so many people whose lives have been changed, from A-listers to Olympic medalists, and it's really, I think it definitely needs a light shining on it. I curse that woman for ruining that expression for me. Now, this is the first major project that Prince William has launched since he himself has become the Prince of Wales. He has already obviously launched the Earthshot Prize, which has now become an independent charity, and I think that's wonderful. But now we have Homewards. Launching the project, Prince William has been visiting Belfast, Aberdeen, Sheffield, Lambeth, Newport, Bournemouth, Christchurch and Poole, and he received an incredible welcome at each and every place. The project will see much needed funding being given to 6 flagship cities all over the UK and aims to be preventative, stopping people from becoming homeless, teaming together many organisations, charities and partners to make sure that everyone has access to services, to advice, to support. All the organisations will work alongside each other, and experts from all around the world are expected to be involved with supporting the programme. Now, very sadly in the UK, what with the cost of living crisis and then the fallout from all of the lockdowns that were inflicted worldwide, it has caused a massive increase in the number of people that are losing their homes, their businesses, and of course, then ending up on the streets. It's a situation when you think it's 2023 that it should not still be happening. I used to live in Brighton and Hove, actually, inside joke. But when I lived down there, the number of people living on the streets and shop doorways was ever increasing. And I remember one night I was at a party at a hotel on the seafront, and there were two old boys sitting outside. And, you know, they're minding their own business. And I went out there, I used to smoke then. So I went and had a cigarette, shared a cigarette with them. And I said to them, why are you not in a shelter? And they said there are so many drugs addicts, alcohol, there's lots of people with mental health issues, that they felt safer sleeping on the streets than they did in one of those shelters. Now, how sad is that? But they were incredibly lovely, really, really lovely, polite gentlemen. And it does make you realise that lots of people are living on the streets, ex-servicemen and women, people from all walks of life that don't ask to end up there. So I think this is an incredibly compassionate and selfless project that Prince William is launching. It's so obvious that Prince William is a kind, caring and compassionate person. He has cared about helping the homeless from such a young age. He slept on the streets himself. He even went undercover as a big issue seller to help draw attention to the ever increasing problem, which is people losing their homes. You can tell Prince William genuinely wants to make other people's lives better, and everyone gets this vibe off of him. That's why wherever he and Catherine go, you've got people hugging him, you've got crowds turning out. People like him and think he's going to be a good king because he is incredibly caring and compassionate. And it really frustrates me. I'm seeing so many people criticise Prince William for doing this. Now, speaking of criticising, there is another new book coming out, hitting the shelves in November. It is called Endgame. And the book will be a penetrating investigation into unsolved mysteries, the successes and failures and moments the royal family should be ashamed of. Mainly, of course, the moment that they let the divine blessing that was Meghan Markle slip through their cold, heartless, bullying and racist fingers. That's not the book's synopsis, but when you see that it's Omid Scobie, the author of Finding Freedom, and this is his second book, you know that's basically what it's going to read like. Harry and Meghan's star shone so bright that it burnt the egos of senior members of the royal family, especially Catherine and William, who then set out to destroy the young couple. Meghan, who tried to save the royal family from themselves, who almost lost her life in doing so. For without the moral justice warrior that is Harry, the shining light of feminism that Meghan just radiates out of every pore, the royal family will truly crumble and fall. I know, I should have gone to the theatre, shouldn't I? Honestly, you know the book is going to read like this. Harry and Meghan tried to save them from themselves. Harry and Meghan, the crusaders, with the moral justice warriors that they are. They are true leaders of truth and compassion, service and duty that would even shame the memory of Queen Elizabeth. They're as bad as each other. Omid Scobie's not exactly known for being truthful. He lied to the courts about how much involvement that he had with Harry and Meghan when it came to Finding Freedom. Meghan basically wrote the book for him. Because for anyone who's actually read any of Meghan Markle's TIG blogs or magazine articles that she's written herself, you read that and then you read Finding Freedom, it's like Meghan had full creative control over that book. We know she was behind that book. We know that she will be behind this book. People will see straight through it. It's just another way for them to get their side of the story across again. As for Omid talking like he has got this insider knowledge, let's be honest, he lost his access to the royal family when Harry and Meghan left. Harry and Meghan have done everything to distance themselves from him. It's almost kind of embarrassing. Sarah Vine, one of the reporters I read, she's like, he just follows them around like a little puppy dog, throw me a bone. And that's the thing. Omid got direct access into the royal family. Meghan and Harry made it possible for him. And all he had to do was write incredibly sugary stuff about them and make sure that he also was very negative about everyone else in the royal family. He was part of peddling their early on victim narrative about how they were being maligned and mistreated by the royal family. So you'll forgive me. I won't be buying this book. I will not be reading this book for research purposes because we all know what is going to be in that book. Harry and Meghan, good. Royal family, bad. Another reminder as for Omid not having any access or insider information to the royal family as well was when the Queen died and they were going to transport her body down from Balmoral all the way down to London. Omid live on TV said that she would be transported on the royal train, the casket would come down. And it wasn't true. But rumours are that Prince Harry was fed that information, was told that that's how they were going to transport the Queen down to London. And then sure enough, Omid Scobie is the one that gets that exclusive. I do actually believe it to be true. If you remember, Harry was the last one to go up there because he was so busy arguing whether Meghan should be allowed to come, that he was also the first one to leave. So I think the distrust with the royal family, the fact that he'd sold them all out so many times, they didn't want information, private information to do with the Queen being leaked by Omid Scobie. So they basically told Harry a dud. Again, this is not 100% proof, but it is my belief that that is accurate. Now, as for Harry talking about Omid, in his recent court case against, well, one of many, Harry versus the Mirror, when asked, did he know Omid Scobie? First of all, he's like, yes. And then he backtracked and thought about it and went, I know of him. You literally had Omid Scobie follow you on royal engagements. He was there on Meghan's last engagement in the palace. You know, as for these two trying to say that they haven't spent any time, they don't know Omid Scobie, you are talking absolute bollocks. And you think to yourself, why are they lying? Omid said that he had drinks with them. It's pretty obvious that they have seen each other, spent time with each other, given direct access to certain information. You know, Omid is called their mouthpiece, their main trumpeter, because he has had exclusives directly from Harry and Meghan. As I said, it's like a reward. Who's a good boy? Here's a bone. And, you know, why would Harry and Meghan let a simple thing as, you know, the truth get in the way of their version of events, as we are seeing with this court case? So let's move on to my final story, which is surrounding Harry and the Mirror Group. It seems that podcasts, TV programmes aren't the only thing that Harry seems to have major difficulty in producing. In this case, it's evidence. The big court case that Harry was the one that he decided when he met David Sherborne conveniently at Elton John's house many years ago at a party, he was encouraged to start these lawsuits, these litigations against the media. And yet Harry, being the front man, the main man, the face of these cases, he has actually got no evidence to back it up. It's all thoughts and feelings, and it's just not washing. If Harry honestly wins this case, it will be one of the biggest injustices in the world, really. Everyone will be questioning the judge, but given Justice Faircourt, he's not giving Harry an easy ride, nor is he giving David Sherborne, Harry's lawyer, much of an easy ride either. I'm really not seeing it going the way that Harry wants. This week, in the final rounds of, you know, the lawyers battling it out in front of the judge, it's not a judge and jury sort of case, it is just down to the judge. They were giving their final arguments. The judge, Justice Faircourt, has actually said to David Sherborne, give your best two examples of particular evidence that Prince Harry was able to give of a particular message. This is your opportunity to give specific examples of voicemail interceptions leading to articles written by the Mirror. And you know what Harry's lawyer's response was? It was as arrogant as Harry's final statement where he said to the judge, I deserve to win this just because of who I am. All right, that wasn't his exact wording, but he basically said, if I don't win this, it's an injustice. And, you know, the arrogance has followed through to David Sherborne because he quoted the articles again that Harry had said. And the judge is like, yes, but where is the evidence to say any of these articles, you know, the information was illegally obtained? He turns and says to the judge, well, he must have been hacked. He was one of their prime targets. There's no denying that Harry has been a prime target for the media because he's a prince of the United Kingdom. He's born into one of the most famous families around the world. His mother was incredibly famous. And there are certain unfairnesses, I think. God, it must be awful, especially teenage years, having every intimate moment, you getting drunk with friends, playing out in the worldwide media. It must be embarrassing. It must be frustrating. It must be incredibly hard to not be able to trust your school friends, your college friends, friends, your university friends. Oh, sorry, yeah, Harry didn't. The army friends. You know, it must be incredibly trying not knowing who is going to sell a story on you, who in a nightclub has taken secret photographs of you. And the thing is, Harry's obviously grown up knowing that the world is watching him, so you think that he might have actually tried to tone down his behaviour publicly, been a bit more discreet. But maybe if he behaved a little bit better, the press wouldn't have been so interested in keeping up with his antics. But to say that this information was always illegally obtained and you've got no evidence to back it up is just a complete farce. It's a farce of the justice system, like Harry trying to fight for taxpayer-funded security. You know, that's hundreds of thousands of pounds that's coming out the taxpayer's purse. And because of loopholes, I read an article the other week, Harry may not have to pay it back even if he loses. This is a man that is wasting the court's times, but the only people that are truly benefiting, that are loving it, and the reason why David Sherborne convinced him to do it, he's being paid millions regardless if he wins or loses. It doesn't matter. I think by the time Prince Harry's actually done with all these various litigations, David Sherborne can buy an island in the Caribbean and live out his merry little life. Now, people that are definitely losing out are the people that thought that Harry could front the case for them. Let's be honest, I think that Harry was nominated to do it and they convinced him to start these cases using his paranoia against the press because they wanted someone as famous as Harry to make it noticeable. Yes, okay, you've got Hugh Grant and you've got Elton John. They're on one of the, I think that's the Mail on Sunday case, another privacy case. But then you've also got the people, I can't even remember their names, but they're actors and actresses. They needed someone who is incredibly well publicised to be the face of it. They must be kicking themselves because Harry was a member of the royal family when this all started. Now, obviously, he's completely annihilated his relationship with the entire United Kingdom. He has betrayed Queen and country, king and country, future king and country. I mean, it's continuous, really, with Harry, isn't it? Harry, with the help of Meghan, has truly had the world at his feet and has hit detonate. He has self-destructed his entire life. He's blown it all up for the love of a woman who I think is going to be blowing up their marriage very, very soon. I don't wish divorce on anyone. It's absolutely awful. There's children involved, but I'm definitely getting the vibe. There's an announcement Harry's doing solo projects. He's going to go to Africa. Meghan is taking deals. All the blinds are coming out. They're being absolutely destroyed by all these Hollywood big power players. Harry is no longer any use to Meghan. He doesn't have an endless stream of money. He's not bringing in the big contracts. And the public view him so negatively now. He brings nothing of any value to Meghan's life. So the thing that would actually bring lots of money and lots of attention and lots of value back to Meghan's life would be the announcing the divorce. Oh, it was awful. He's obsessed with his mother. He made me dress like her. He's a drug addict and alcoholic. I had to rescue the children. Thank God for Tyler Perry and his private jet. You know it's coming. Harry has shown himself to be incredibly unlikable, arrogant, spoiled, immature, and more importantly, it doesn't exactly tell the truth. This is a man that has sold his family down the river. He's sold intimate details on members of his family, on ex-girlfriends, friends, women that he's slept with, all for a paycheck, and he did it without their permission and their knowledge. So how can Harry be on this moral high ground when he's behaved no better than the paparazzi and the tabloids himself? And that's the problem. No one can take Harry seriously. And I'd imagine these other litigants that are all on these other cases with Harry are regretting having Harry as their front man. Having Harry as your avenger for truth and justice is like signing up Hannibal Lecter to front a campaign for veganism. It's just not working, is it? So anyway, guys, I'll leave that thought with you and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Husband and I have decided that we don't spend enough time doing activities on the water, so we've bought a kayak. So I will be going kayaking over the weekend without the dogs. They really don't like water. And I will be bringing, I'm sure, some stories and some photographs from that with you on Monday. But if I kayak anything like I paddleboard, yep, that's me. That was in Australia a couple of years ago. I'm in no doubts that I will have some funny stories to tell. So on that note, have a wonderful weekend, guys, and I'll see you soon. Take care for now. Bye.